Your plant is drooping, so your hand reaches for the watering can. Stop. If the soil is still wet, another drink could turn a recoverable problem into dead roots. Wilting does not mean a plant is thirsty. It means the leaves are losing water faster than the roots can replace it. Dry roots can cause that. Damaged roots can cause exactly the same thing. The leaf gives you the alarm, but the pot tells you why. Here is what happens inside a saturated pot. Healthy roots do more than drink. They also exchange gases through tiny air spaces in the potting mix. When those spaces remain filled with water, oxygen falls. Fine feeder roots lose function first. The leaves still release moisture, but the reduced root system cannot keep pace. The plant wilts while surrounded by water it can no longer use. Pouring in more does not solve that imbalance. It extends it. Before you unpot anything, answer one question. Is the entire root zone wet or only the surface? Dark soil on top can fool you. Push a wooden skewer or unfinished chopstick close to the bottom of the pot, leave it for a moment, then pull it out. Damp mix will darken the wood and cling to it. Lift the pot as well. A saturated pot feels noticeably heavier than the same pot approaching watering time. Now check the container. Does it have an open drainage hole? Is the nursery pot sitting inside a decorative cover pot? Lift it out. Water can hide beneath it even when the visible saucer looks empty. A blocked hole or a centimeter of standing water can keep the lower root ball wet for days. This is also why overwatering is often misunderstood. A large, thorough watering is appropriate when a plant actually needs it and excess water can escape. The damaging pattern is watering again while the root zone is still wet or trapping runoff around the pot. Frequency, drainage, light, and potting mix work together. The amount in one watering can tell you very little by itself. If the deeper mix is dry, you may simply have a thirsty plant or a root ball that has pulled away from the pot and is no longer absorbing water evenly. Rehydrate it thoroughly and let excess water drain. But if the skewer is wet, the pot is heavy, and the plant is still limp, do not add water. Continue the diagnosis. Look at the timeline. Was the plant repotted in the last few days? Were many roots disturbed? Did it move from a cool shop into a hot window, or spend a cold night beside an open window? Recent root disturbance and sudden temperature stress can cause temporary drooping even before decay begins. Ask whether the plant has enough light to use the water it receives. A pot that dried comfortably in a bright summer position may remain wet much longer after it has moved into a dim room or enters a slower winter period. The owner repeats the old schedule, but the plant's water use has changed. Nothing mysterious happened overnight. The calendar stopped matching the conditions. Also identify the plant. A peace lily can collapse dramatically as its mix dries, while a snake plant may remain upright until excess moisture has already damaged the base. One watering rule cannot serve every species. You are looking for a change from this plant's normal behavior. Next, read the supporting clues. Wet root stress often arrives with more than limp leaves. Lower leaves may turn yellow. New growth can stall. Leaves may soften rather than becoming dry and crisp. Fungus gnats may gather over constantly moist mix. The potting soil may smell sour or swampy. None of those signs proves a specific disease. Together, they justify looking at the roots. Slide the plant out while supporting the base. Do not pull on the stems. If the root ball refuses to move, squeeze a plastic nursery pot or run a blunt tool around the inside edge. Keep the root ball together until you have inspected its outside. Healthy roots are firm. Depending on the species and the age of the root, they may be white, cream, tan, or naturally darker. The important evidence is structure. A functioning root resists a gentle touch and keeps its outer layer. Dead or decaying roots feel soft, hollow, or slippery. Their outer layer may slide away and leave a thin central thread. They are often dark, brown, or black, and advanced decay may smell unpleasant. Compare several roots. Do not condemn the entire plant because one old root is brown. Check the stem base and crown while the plant is out. Firm tissue gives you a rescue point. A base that is dark, soft, and collapsing means the damage has moved beyond a few replaceable roots. Cutting roots while leaving a rotting crown does not remove the main failure. This is where a healthy cutting, if the species allows it, may have better odds than the original plant. Here is the first rescue decision. If most roots are firm and the mix only stayed wet too long, avoid unnecessary surgery. Empty the cover pot, clear the drainage hole, return the plant to bright light, appropriate for its species, and allow the root zone to move toward its normal watering point. Airflow and light help the plant use water. Fertilizer does not repair stressed roots, so pause feeding until active growth returns. If a small portion of the roots is clearly soft and collapsing, remove only tissue that is unquestionably dead. Use clean scissors. Keep every firm root you can. Then repot into fresh, airy potting mix in a clean container with drainage. Choose the pot by the remaining root system, not by the size of the leaves. A large pot surrounding a small, damaged root ball holds a reservoir of water the plant cannot use. The new container should fit the roots with modest room for growth, rather than swallowing them in wet mix. Drainage holes do not make an unsuitable mix safe by themselves. Water must be able to move through the mix and out of the container. Old potting media can collapse into dense particles that stay wet around damaged roots. Use a fresh mix appropriate for the species, with enough structure to retain moisture and enough airspace to recover after watering. A moisture-loving fern and a drought-tolerant succulent should not receive identical soil recipes. Do not rinse and scrub healthy roots until they are bare, simply because a rescue video looked dramatic. Every extra break removes absorbing tissue. Loosen, saturated, compacted mix where necessary, preserve sound roots, and make the least invasive correction that solves the evidence you found. After repotting, settle fresh mix around the roots without packing it into a solid block. If the new mix is already evenly moist, the plant may not need another full watering immediately. If it is dry, water once to settle it, allow it to drain completely, and empty the saucer. Then stop. Repeated small drinks keep the center wet while giving you no clear reset point. Place the recovering plant in stable conditions. Give it suitable bright light without suddenly baking it in direct sun. Keep it away from cold drafts and heating vents. Do not move it every day, searching for an instant response. Old leaves may not stand up again. Yellow tissue will not turn green. Recovery appears in the future. The stem stops softening, the pot begins drying at a normal rate, and new growth emerges firm and clean. Judge the trend over days and weeks, not the appearance 1 hour after repotting. If nearly every root is gone, be honest about the odds. Remove decayed tissue, reduce the pot to match what remains, and consider taking a healthy cutting from a species that can be propagated. Saving one viable node can be more realistic than keeping a large canopy attached to almost no roots. Now prevent the loop that caused the problem. Never water by weekday. Check the depth of the mix and the weight of the pot. Empty decorative pots and saucers after watering. Match the potting mix and container size to the plant, and remember that the same pot dries more slowly in winter, in lower light, or after root loss. Most importantly, do not respond to every droop with the same action. First check whether the root zone is dry or wet. Then inspect the container, recent changes, and supporting symptoms. Unpot only when the evidence justifies it. Remember Anna's rule: a drooping leaf asks a question. The soil and roots answer it.